Hey, to quote one of the best movies of all time, The Hangover, we are back. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to 614 Headsets. We're your hosts, Ryan Sayers. Say hello. What's up to everybody?
We're back in action, baby. I'm pumped up for this episode for sure. You guys got a treat if in your favor right now.
We got Donovan White.
What's up, everyone? I took some advice, switched the background a little bit. Don't worry, there'll be more to come, but it'll be more exciting than just a couple things in the background.
There we
It'll
go.
change, I'm sure, in the future.
You're going to make Mama Stout proud. I'm so happy for you, man. And myself, Kyle Stout. Hey, Tom Brady said it best. Football is unconditional love, and we couldn't agree more. This game is a lifestyle, and we consider our show a movement of that. We're three high school football coaches from the Columbus area who just love this game and just can't get enough of it. Donovan, tell them what we got today.
We've got two, not one, but two guests on today. We're going to talk with Coach Jumbo about some all-star game coming up. No big deal up Columbus, just some little old all-star game that we're all really excited about. And then we'll introduce Coach Bell after that. And we're really excited to have both you on. So we really appreciate you coming on first, Coach Jumbo, and then Coach Bell when he joins on. So we're really excited for today. Special episode, two guests, not just one.
Yes, first time, two, and it's going to go smoothly. We're already off to a great start. But before we begin, let's talk about 614 Headsets partner, Fundraising University. Fundraising University Ohio offers a variety of fundraising efforts that helps football teams run profitable, effective, and fast-paced fundraisers designed to raise the most money in the shortest amount of time to reach their fundraising goals. Fundraising University Ohio is locally owned and operated, and with their 6-step blitz system will help your team maximize profits. As a current coach himself, Brent Maxwell with Fundraising University will sit down and help you pick, plan, strategize, and execute your fundraiser that will allow you as a coach to focus on your practice time, prep time, player development, and personal time. Fundraising University Ohio offers 60-minute donation platforms which will have your money in 8 days, digital and hard discount cards where they will put in all the work for you and your boosters, and their popcorn sale with all digital and cashless and others as well. If you are interested in Fundraising University and helping you out, contact Brent Maxwell at bmaxwell@fundraisingu.net or by phone at 740-501-8946 to learn how to get started with fundraising. Brent is still looking for football teams for this July and August, and it's not too late. And let me be honest with you, from my time as when I was a head coach, fundraising to me was the biggest anxiety and headache. I can't tell you how many nightmare stories I had rounding kids up on a bus, heading to downtown, building volleyball floors, selling chocolate bars, you name it. And I felt like all that work was for pinching these small pennies. And I wish there was a platform like this now, and fundraising has changed. And Ryan, you have actually used Fundraising University and Brent for a long time. Just tell us what your experience has been like.
Man, Brent has become actually a personal friend now. You know what I mean? That's the type of guy he is. He's done a phenomenal job. He comes in and he's gotten our fundraising role. For us, we were able to get 2 sets of new jerseys, a set of new practice jerseys, new Revo Speed Flexes. We got some new shoulder pads. In my time with Brent, in just my 2 years, right, he's raised or helped me raise, right, close to $20,000 already. And so that just goes to show you, especially what he can do. Because the year before, my first year, we only raised about $6,000 in the past 2, you know what I mean, from him. Looking at what he did for me for my first year and then brought him in second year and bought into what he was doing. Man, we've made great strides in our fundraising, and he's just done a great job. But one thing about Maxwell, right? Let me just tell you, don't let that man hustle you on a golf course. This dude pulled up late, real quick, side note, okay? Pulls up late to the golf course, Stout, okay? And he's a stand-up guy when you're talking to him, everything. He comes up, he's like, yeah, I'm not that good. He's late, already running late. First drive, shanks it. Then the man comes out and shoots, I think it was 2 over par, was like 78 for the day.
Ooh.
I looked at him, I'm like, man, I'm over here. Let's go, baby. Smoked me. Great guy, though. Will go out with you, will become a friend of yours, and will help your every program. He works with my volleyball now. He'll work with cheer and the drill team. He's just all over our place. Does a great job, known, and everybody loves him.
I tell you what, absolutely. These fundraising platforms and fundraising university, what they can do for your program, I wish was around when I was a head coach. I can't tell you the amount of work and headaches and 6 to 8 months I would put in for 10 grand. And the fact that you could have somebody that could come in and make something hassle free and do that for you in an hour and build some competition and have some fun with it. I just swear I wish Brent was around when I was a head coach, and maybe my life would have been differently in those couple of years. So do that. Hey, coaches, if you maybe are even a company who's listening to this, check out Fundraising University. You could check them out on Twitter at Ohio Fundraising as well. Reach out to us, and we'll make sure you get to Brent too as well if you missed anything. But just check them out, and we are so excited that Brent believes in 614 headsets, and we believe in him. Donnie, let's get it started.
All right.
Gas time, baby. Yeah. Let's go.
I'm about to say, I started to introduce this. This is Coach Sayers. You have
I was about to say.
What am I doing here?
Hold on, Don. I was going to say, slow your roll. Let me get, like our one guy that not many people know in books said, right pedal Ryan all day. Let's get it rolling. All gas, no brakes. Here's the thing. We got a great one today. We got a guy that's all gas, no brakes across the city for multiple years. Coach Jumbo's going to be joining us, and we're excited to have him. This year is a huge one. It's Big XL edition. It's the 40th edition. Right, 40th year of the Central District All-Star Football Classic, which will be played on June 17th, okay? And he's going to help us today talk about the guys that we're excited for to play in that game, guys that we've maybe coached, guys we've coached against, guys we've seen. But today, man, I'm honored to be able to introduce Coach Jumbo. He played in the game, actually. This is one of the most unique things he told us right before the thing. He played in the game in 1992 himself, and now he has taken the game over. I've been in the city for 4 years, and he's always had Northland guys on the roster to take care of our kids. And for him, little interest and stuff, he's been in the city for 26 years. He's been rolling. He's been out here getting it. Okay? Yeah. He's done 15 at East, 5 at Indy, 1 at Linden McKinley, and then he has 6 years now. He's at South High with old man Yates. All right, now hopefully he listens to that too.
Yeah.
But hey, excited, Coach Jumbo. We are excited to have you. Go ahead, tell us, say hi, introduce yourself. Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. I was really looking forward to this opportunity, man. And you guys reached out. I'm excited to be a part of this podcast and be able to talk a lot about, like you said, the XL, the 40th edition of the All-Star game. I played in this game back in 92. That sort of tells my age a little. I definitely played a part of this game. And
I wasn't even born yet.
You weren't even born yet. Who else played in this game with me? Who was my teammate? Was Coach Luke Fickle, Wisconsin head coach. He played in the game with me. The late, great Terry Glenn was a part of this game, and a host of other guys. This game started back in 83 by my old high school football coach, Dan Dupler. He started his game in 83. He has since passed, and I was able to take over the game in 2013. Actually, that year I coached it. Played at Reynoldsburg, and a little bit of brag about myself is that I still have the highest points scored that I know to record in the All-Star game. So we put up. So every year I challenge the teams, like, who's gonna beat that record? And one team was close a couple years ago. I think they came up with 42.
I'm gonna let Coach Bell know you said this. Bell's on later.
You know what I'm saying? I know you try to put the points up. That's why I'm so excited about this game.
Sounds like we need to put a little 614 wager on that one.
Hey, the way it goes, Jason Bell, they got a little bit of history. It was great. I'm so happy that those two, Coach Yates, a head coach out of South, was a part of the city championship, sharing over there, and Coach Bell over in the North, out of East. He was shared the city over there, of course, with you as well. So bringing those two guys together because they got a little history with each other. Both are division coaches of the year in the States. It's battle to go, man. To really,
that's not the last time we're gonna all be together, though, Coach
Jumbo. I'm sure.
second scrimmage. It's East and Northland versus Afro and South. We're doing a sweet little thing.
So is it Afro or is it Indy? Because he told me it was Indy and South. Did Douglas change his mind or something?
I don't know about that, but I think it's Afro because we might be doing something special. But that's the TBD, though.
Yeah, Jace is excited about that. So the city's doing some things, man. I'm really excited about what Central Ohio overall is doing, man. And this All-Star game is an honor for me to put on every year. I got over 40 schools from players from 40 different schools that participates in it this year. And we got a huge roster. My goal was to get 40 on each side. We're about there to play this game. Again, it's going to be on June 17th. And the good thing about it is my first game my coach was at Reynoldsburg. We've played other places over the past 10 years and had some missed games because of COVID, but I'm happy to say we're back at Reynoldsburg. Thanks to Coach Phil Moore over there at Reynoldsburg and the Reynoldsburg School District and the community. We're back at Reynoldsburg this year.
Yeah, I just saw you put that up today, Coach.
Yeah. So that was big.
At Reynoldsburg Stadium, beautiful field and setting.
Yes.
I love playing there. It's a great
field. It is.
What time is the game, just for anybody that's listening?
So here's a good thing. The kickoff is going to be at 6 o'clock on Saturday, okay, as far as a weekend, but we're doing something really special. We're actually going to have a 2-day extravaganza, a 2-day event. On Friday, they're going to have their pregame and things like that starting at 5:30. But prior to that, starting at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a trade school fair for graduating seniors to come that maybe college isn't a path for them or may not continue their path athletically. We got some trade schools and vendors that are going to be there. And not only for those, but to assist their entire family, we're going to have career fair people there with job opportunities as well. So we're going to really do this thing big this year to celebrate the 40th year by making sure we affect everybody in the community. I'm excited.
That's the XL edition, baby.
Yeah,
that's
the XL edition.
I like that.
Yeah, we got some great people who are sponsoring NAB2, Creative Central Ohio Futures, building trading centers, and all these groups are coming together to sponsor this to make sure we're really reaching out to make a better environment for the whole community.
Let's get into the
game, dude.
I'm excited. I'm looking at the list. I'm like, let's get into the thick of things.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Donovan,
let's put this first one up.
Absolutely. So let's get started here. So we got a Team Bell versus a Team Yates. Coach Jumbo, is this something you do every year? Or is this kind of new, putting two coaches against each other?
It was an opportunity. I know those two guys personally. I've been knowing Bell for many years. We actually played against each other. And Coach Yates, I've been coaching with him, and I know the little behind-the-scene competition that they got with each other. So it was no better way to bring it out and let them display that competition, that good, friendly competition amongst each other by playing within an all-star game where you're full of athletes from everywhere. Man, they got some players on both teams that I'm excited to watch play this year.
It's not always friendly, though, Coach Jumbo.
Nah, it isn't. I try to keep it as friendly as possible. I really do.
This game is stacked. Donovan, go ahead and show everybody our top two players we picked. Coach Jumbo, why don't you start us off and you talk about the two players you're most excited about in the game on Team Bell?
I tell you what, that first guy, you can see two people picked him, is Will Cooper. He's a Tiffin commit who's going to go play at Tiffin, man. He's not a really big guy, man, but is his heart and soul big, man. This year for Thomas Worthington, he was an all-state guy, man. He was all everything for them, man. He threw over 3,000 yards, had over 34 touchdowns, man. He was an amazing guy to watch, throughout the season. And, he was one of my very first commits, man. And I was ecstatic to be able to know that he's going to play an all-star game and provide that talent this year. On defensive side, he's a representative of Coach Bell, man. He was a part of that train that had East going this year. And, and the good thing about it is I coached his uncle some years ago, and he was a sack leader for us. And to watch this kid sort of reincarnate his uncle, but create his own individual, C.J. Swanson. He was a monster for Bell this year, man. He had, I think, maybe about 10 sacks this year alone, so he's a Notre Dame college commit. So, I can't wait to see what those two guys bring to the game this year amongst a whole bunch of other guys that's going to participate.
Hey, it was tough. CJ was almost on my list, bro. Man. CJ did his thing against us at Northland. I ain't going to lie. CJ tore us up.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's a big body, too. He's a real big body.
And you know what the funnest thing has been about doing this show and doing these segments is the film it forces me to watch sometimes and go back into some of these maybe players who aren't in our league, and I get to see and that has been a lot of fun for me. Ryan, right pedal Ryan, give us your top two.
Top two from Bell's team. Got to go with my guy, right? My guy, Makai Kilborn, our wide receiver at Northland High School, right? He's committed to Ohio Dominican, runs the 100-meter two for us. He's in our 4x1 team that just won our district. He competed in regionals tonight. And so, he's a dominant player, and he changed, Makai did a lot of things for us. He changed my whole program. He's that type of kid, right? He transferred into us from Westerville Central and came into us, and just his 1 year being with us, Makai put a stamp on Northland High School, and that just says a lot about his character. And, the best thing you can say about Makai is he's one of the best kids ever in the school. Like, got great grades. Everybody loves him, right? Just a great kid, and I love his family too. His mom, dad, amazing, right? I hope Makai's the guy that scores every touchdown in that game, right? And he can play DB too. So Coach Bell, I know he's going to be listening to this a little bit later, but Coach Bell, put him at corner too, and you're not going. He had one ball caught on him this past season. Straight dog. He flies around. But next guy, another dude that's from the city, right? Got to show love because this dude tore me up 2 years in a row. We are sad that it happened. Sad that, Chris Towns, phenomenal athlete, runs around, makes things happen. Right? He just makes things happen every time. I hate when the ball gets snapped right to his hands. I'm like, and it's every time. So, anything can happen with that kid. At any given moment, he can make anything happen. And he's a good kid, competitive kid. It was sad to see because I love competing with Linden. I love competing against good kids throughout the season. And he did get injured against us during this year's game. And, that made it tough on, obviously, Linden losing their guy like him. But, man, am I excited to see him compete in this game and get back out there. I just love seeing city kids out there. It just makes my heart happy.
Sweet.
That's a good list. Donnie.
All right, I got two guys, and let me preface it with this. If I didn't put an O lineman,
you had to. I didn't say it. I knew it when the name came in.
Yeah,
but I love it. I appreciate that.
Have to. If I didn't put an O lineman in there, I don't know if you can call me an offensive line coach. So I'll lead off with the first one. Watch this film, Dylan Tainer out of Dublin, Scioto. Yeah. First of all, this kid looks like he was born to play offensive line. Like when you watch just a few minutes of him, you can already tell he's got a mean streak to him. He's got really strong hands, right? When he gets his hands on guys, on defenders, he's putting them in the dirt. I mean, like he's putting them right in the dirt in the run game and in the pass game. So I loved his tape that he had. He's going to Lawrence Tech. So that'll certainly be a good name. And then Bubba
you would have sounded way cooler if you said pause. The way you said pause.
That's all right. Pause them. Yeah, you live and you learn a bit. And then Bubba Bangura from Westerville Central, linebacker, tackling machine. I mean, absolute tackling machine on tape. And he also plays the mean streak. I think there's a lot of guys in this game you look at and go, man, they play with a healthy chip on their shoulder, like they're trying to prove the world wrong. And both these kids, I think, for Team Bell are certainly doing that. And Bubba's going to Tiffin. So it's nice to see another Tiffin commit in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some schools like Tiffin and Notre Dame College and Wheeling, they are trying to put a fence around Columbus and doing a great job. And it's funny that you say Bubba because Bubba was right there on my list as well. I remember watching him on film and playing against him, and he was somebody that stood out. I had to go with Will Cooper, too. There was just something about our trade film this year where we kept getting a bunch of Thomas Worthington film. And to me, Will Cooper is just such a great air raid quarterback. If you wanted to run an air raid or a run and shoot or something like that, this kid is great at throwing the ball and getting it out quick and then with the reads. I love everything about him. I'm excited to see what he does at Tiffin. And then I had to go to the defensive side and went with Devontae Courtney, a defensive end from Canal Winchester, all-state edge rusher, first-team All-Ohio. And a fun thing is when we talk about some of these schools, man, like secretly Wheeling University put together a massive class in Columbus, Ohio this year.
Hold up, time out. Wheeling University, shout out Coach Bruni was the head coach there. He was our offensive coordinator my first 2 years at Ohio Dominican. I love that dude, straight animal. I didn't expect anything else from Wheeling.
So let's talk about Wheeling. They got a first-team All-Ohio edge rusher in Devontae. They have a prime-time receiver playmaker in Jalen Wheeler from Westfield South, which where I teach at, just in case anybody doesn't know, and developed a great relationship with. I don't know his accolades, but I'm pretty sure he was an all-district or maybe even some type of all-state. And then you have DeJuan Green, who I'm going to talk about a little bit in the future too, a record-breaking running back. That is a phenomenal class to put together. I don't even know who else is in it. If you can start a class like that with those type of chips and moving forward, you are on the way to something great, because those are some key positions in primetime players. And I tell you
great
what,
recruiting. Just a recruiting animal, right? Like one of those guys that's just personable, right? Like he knows the game. He knows what he's talking about. Before we get, though, to Yates, I see you, Stout, about to get to Yates slot. I got one more guy. I know you're going to kill me, Kyle. I know everybody got to. I had to. I did it, and I didn't put it on the script because you knew I was going to do this.
Let's go.
One more guy. Got to be my other guy, though, Gentry Ross. Got to give him a shout-out. Was my best defensive end for 3 years straight, right? Did all 3 years that I've been there. Gentry's made a ton of plays. Been a phenomenal kid. Big body, makes a ton of plays. I love the kid, right? I just can't leave him off here. Just got to make sure I give him a shout-out. But go ahead now.
There's some dogs over there. So
it was so tough. Was he not tough?
It was.
He was tough. Yeah.
Team Bell is looking good. Donovan, show us Team Yates. Let's see what Team Yates has to offer. All right, here's our side of Team Yates where we did it. Coach Jumbo, tell us about your two dogs you got for Team Yates.
I tell you what, this first guy, man, it's amazing to watch him play quarterback. We played against him at South this year, man. And he was just tough by himself where he played the quarterback position. I know how Douglas runs his offense, man. That quarterback is definitely the key to his offense. And to be honest, man, this kid really controlled the entire line of scrimmage, the entire game in their defeat when they beat us this year. He's a 3 sports player, man. He plays football, screaming. He's a basketball player, and he also is a fast track guy. I think he runs a 10-something in the 100, but his size, man, he's a thick body kid, and you wouldn't believe the way he looks. Antonio Harris, man, I'm really excited to see what he brings to the All-Star game this year. Secondly, this guy, Gavin Karshner, I tell you what, he's a tackling machine, man. He just controlled everything for Tays Valley, man. And he's a very strong guy. He had almost 1,000 yards rushing as well, and 114 tackles, and 10 of those were for a loss. So to have Gavin Karshner participate this year on the defensive side for Team Yates, man, it's going to be really exciting to watch him compete against some of those things that Coach Bell going to want to do on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm extremely excited to watch those two players perform for Team Yates this year.
I love that. There's so much talent on both of these teams that it's so refreshing to see it all, one, come together, but two, all be that brand of Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio.
I'm going to say this. I would hate to be the coach this year to have to distribute the ball to the players, or you can watch a tight game this year. Either the game can score a lot of points, or, man, this can be a low-scoring game. I'm really excited to see what the outcome is going to be, because there's really this year some players that are playing in this game. And I'm really excited and proud about this.
It's stacked. It is. There are so many good guys into it. I'll get into my guys that I want to talk about. DeJuan Green, Terminator. Okay, this is a kid that Ryan has got to be around, that I have got to coach for numerous years.
I'm just mad you put him first before I did. I went to fill out my script. I'm like,
you could have put him. You could have put him. There was no rules to this. But listen,
I just like showing love to everybody. I don't want to.
But listen, DeJuan Green, man, it was, you could tell when this kid came in as a freshman that he was going to be special. And believe it or not, what's he go on and do? He breaks almost every type of running back record you could think of at Pickerington North. And this is a kid that's a monster if you get him downhill. And he had a little bit of injuries last year that kind of hurt him later in the year. I could see DeJuan Green just absolutely eating up this all-star game. And I loved coaching that kid. And like I said, I nicknamed him the Terminator with the way he ran. And then I had to go with Isaiah Wills Jackson, a cornerback for us at Gahanna Lincoln. Honestly, I'm telling you right now, I think he's one of the best DBs, if not the best DB in the game. A Notre Dame commit, as we've been talking about schools. And I'm going to say it right now. He's just a playmaker. He's a ball hawk. I would not be surprised for him to get a pick six because he did it so much last year. I'm excited to watch the
Where did he
Gahanna
learn
boys
that
get
at?
after it.
Where did he learn that first at?
Gahanna.
He came over there as a dog. Where he learned that at?
Seems to be like he made a lot of
Where
plays
did he
at
come
Gahanna.
from?
Please.
He was with Northland High School at first, and then some sketchy stuff happened, and they ended up recruiting him. No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. It was a different thing. I'm just playing.
All right, Ryan, take us into year two.
Hey, I'm going to go into mine, but I have to piggyback off you, right? Isaiah Willis-Jackson, I love that. Still to this day, that dude, let me just tell you, he came to one of our football games this year, and we played some Thursday night games. And as I'm coming off the field, and this is why I love coaching, is kids like him, right? I'm coming off the field, and the dude's just standing there with a big-ass smile on his face, gives me a huge hug, like, man, I love you still, coach. I wish I was still playing for you. That just a great kid in general, just an amazing kid. Still supported us at Northland even after he left with some personal things going on in his life. But he has done a phenomenal job with you guys. And, man, Isaiah knows I've been his biggest fan on the behind-the-scenes thing. Messaging him on Instagram, just telling him to stay focused. So you're welcome, Kyle. But here's what I'll say. My guys – it was tough for the South Side. I ain't gonna lie. It was tough for me with the South Side. Obviously, I'm on the North side of things. Even for me, I watched a ton of film. Stout kept saying, fill out your guys' stuff, right? Make sure we have our players. Make sure we have our guys' stuff. It took me all week. I watched, I think, every guy's highlight tape on that South Side team just to pick my guy out. And I came up with these two guys, right? I had to give love to my dude, Marveus Hampton. Is that how I say it, Coach Jumbo? Marveus? Yes. Okay, Marveus Hampton. I hope I don't mess his name up. But, boy, watching that dude run is something special. He hits the hole hard. Yeah. He runs hard. His pad level's low. He knows where his help is. He knows where his blocks are. Follows his block. Just a good kid. I loved watching him. I'm just glad I ain't have to coach against him. That's all.
No wasted movement. I love this film.
No.
When I
Did you watch
this
film too?
Of course.
Hey,
listen, I am a football film junkie. So when I saw you put his name down, I pulled it up. And then the number one thing that stood out for me is the way this young man got north and south.
Yeah, real quick.
That's what I was literally just about to say. You took it out of my mouth. There was literally no east-west stuff. Not at all. It's not even in his – it looks like it's not in his blood to do that. It looks like it's only in his blood to go straight to the end zone.
Yeah, he hits that second level quick.
And Coach Jumbo, help me out here. Quarterback Dublin Jerome. Zachary?
Yes.
Shazard.
I might be saying it wrong too, but yes.
Hey, doggy dog, though, too, man. I don't care what your name is. He slings that pill. You can run a little bit, right? He makes things happen. That's another guy, right? I'm a defensive guy, but I'm going to tell you, I picked two offensive guys on this Southside team just because I do genuinely appreciate a great offensive player being a defensive coach, right, and loving defense. And these two guys are great offensive players, and I think you got a two-headed monster back there in the backfield if you got both of those guys back there lined up. Hey, Coach Yates, just so you know, make sure you do that. I'll send you a few plays with two back, though, so you can make sure you get these guys to score.
Donovan, go and wrap this up with your two guys.
I had to pick another lineman, and he's blocking for one of your guys, Coach Sayer. Cameron Coleman out of Eastmore is a huge kid. Big boy.
Big boy.
He's highly competitive. You can see it in the way that you can always tell, like, all right, like, you know, there's always trash talk in football, but sometimes you can see where it's like, all right, that's not really warranted. No, you can see in his film, like, he's competitive in the moment when he's blocking kids and when he's putting kids in there because he's a mauler in the run game. Huge kid.
And where's he committed?
Ohio Dominican. Yep.
He's going to be a legend.
Excited for him, excited for the game and for his future. And then another Ohio Dominican kid, one of our kids at Gahanna, Braden Sanders. I can't tell you how much I love this kid. He was one of our captains. He is one of the highest character kids I've ever seen in the high school football realm. And he made big time plays for us in big time moments, in high pressure playoff environments, in championship games. He was absolutely a bond and a glue to our team. And I think he's going to show out in the game.
Kyle, Kyle, were you there, Stout, when Chris Scott was at Pick North with us? Were you there at all?
Yeah. Chris Scott was there when I was there.
Okay, you know how some of the years start to run together. Okay, but look, I'm gonna tell you right now, watching Braden Sanders film reminds me a ton of Chris Scott.
Wow.
Just explosive, can make plays and makes things happen.
I think Braden Sanders has a huge upside to him. And I think somebody, Ohio Dominican, is getting a receiver that, as he continues to develop, is going to turn into a monster.
Dude,
And
ODU, though, we were talking about Wheeling. ODU is putting their stamp in Central Ohio.
you could see Braden. There was a point in time where the game took off for him. And that's a lot due to Roy Hall and the work he did with him and Braden's work ethic that Donovan said. I'm saying it right now, stamp of approval. Braden is going to have a monster college career. And it's just crazy to see where he was in the beginning to that playoff run and what type of receiver he turned into. Coach Jumbo, I want to say thank you for coming on. This is the first time I got to meet you.
Yes,
You're
sir.
a smooth cat. We might have to get you back on here. But
Hey,
just
anytime.
remember, hey, this is the 40th Ohio Central District All-Star Football Classic. It's on June 17th at Reynoldsburg High School. Go out, because I'm going to be honest, I've been in Columbus in a long time. This has been the best roster I've seen assembled. It's going to be a massive game.
Yes, I'm extremely excited. I want to thank all you guys, man, for having me on. Thank you again for even having your players participate in the game. Without you and the rest of the Central District coaches, man, I wouldn't be able to make this happen. This requires a lot of work from my behalf. This is really a contribute to the coaching job you guys do and the rest of the coaches in Central Ohio. So I appreciate y'all, and thank you for having me, man. I'm looking forward to this game on June 17th, 6 p.m. kickoff at Reynoldsburg High School.
Thanks, brother. We appreciate
I'll make
you.
sure Mackay or Gentry bring you a Northland shirt.
There you go. Bring it to me.
That's what we'll make sure gets done there.
All right, I'm going to see what Coach Bell had to say about that.
All right. Without further ado, let's get into the heart of the episode next with Coach Bell. Come on, Donovan.
Thanks, guys.
Here he is. Ryan, go ahead and introduce this wonderful man.
Do we got all night?
Oh, cut it.
How much time I got?
Hey, this is one of those nights where we could go for 2 hours. I don't know if the viewers
Coach,
would
I
like
mean-
it, but I love it. I could talk for hours. Tonight is phenomenal.
Oh,
This
Ryan
is my
Mike,
favorite
Ryan
episode we
Mike,
recorded yet. And I would love to say that I don't want to say it is because of Coach Bell, right? That's my guy. We came in the same time. Let me just tell you a little backstory, right? Coach Bell and I both got hired the same year, COVID year, and we both were struggling, boy. I talked to him on the phone a couple times, man. What we doing out here? And we instantly made a connection. Obviously, we're competitive guys, but we also realized like the North Side and Columbus City all together has to get brought back up to the standard. And we talk a lot about that, and I talk to him a ton. I usually mute him the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds of a phone call because it's him telling me I got to address him as coach of the year. But that's the other point. But he also, though, quick fact too, he needed me at the end of the year, and he knows what I'm talking about. But,
Game too clutch.
yeah, he needed me. He really needed me on that last game so he could get his piece of that city title.
Yeah. Put a little green on that day.
Hey, it's funny how the engagements change, right? Hey, when someone needs you, they're like, hey, good luck tonight. Hey, they're texting you at halftime. I see this. Hey, hit this, coach. Make sure you win this game. But it's all love with Coach Bell, right? Let me go down the list of him. I'm just going to go down and talk about him. He's at East High. We could talk all day, right? He's a city guy through and through. When you talk about Mike Bell, there's 2 Bells in Columbus City that every single people know. Mike Bell and Matt Bell. Both people. Matt Bell's at our school. Not a lot of football people know him, but everybody in the city knows him. And then Mike Bell, everyone knows him from the young infant kids to 60-year-old adults, right? Everybody knows Coach Bell. And this year he did something, man, super special. And I was glad I got to play against him. I would say we were a part of that journey on the other end of it, but it was just awesome to see what his kids did. And here's his long laundry list of awards that he's had, right? He was the D4 Coach of the Year. He had his first 10-win season in school history, First 6-0 season since 1964. Stout, were you born then?
No,
All right,
No.
all right, just checking. I was just checking.
not
My
even
fault.
close, brother.
First ever hosting 1 and 2 home playoff games. First ever time winning a playoff game in school history. Coast City North champs, tied with me. CCS Coach of the Year. I didn't vote on that. I voted for myself. But no, I'm just playing. I definitely voted for Mike. All District D4 Coach of the Year, All State D4 Coach of the Year, This Week's News Coach of the Year, Dispatch Super 25 Coach of the Year, All Metro Coach of the Year. Mike Bell, everybody. That's my guy.
Dude, could you have a bigger guess?
How you guys doing?
And
There's
you-
not a bigger guest out here in
Dude.
Central Ohio. If we don't, okay, we said Cleveland had the most downloads last time, right?
second.
Bro,
Thanks for caring
if we
about
don't
the
have
show.
1 million downloads from Central Ohio, I'll be surprised because he knows 1 million people.
Central Ohio's been showing a lot of love, and we love it too, man. We
Trying to
love
tell my
what we're
age.
doing.
I'm trying to
This is
tell
my
my
favorite
age.
night of the week, man. And I'm gonna hey, just so everybody knows, these guys on the screen, I'm gonna challenge them this summer that we're gonna maybe do 2 episodes a week. I can't wait to just start cranking this out.
Who's on the screen? Coach Bell's taking my spot then.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm
trying
just
to
playing.
Stop.
I
Hey,
want to do 4 nights.
he's
a week.
probably better than you. All right, here we go.
Fire in there if I
Coach
can.
Bell, we got a new segment in honor of you. It's called the Pick Six segment. We're going to rapid fire 6 questions at you, and they have nothing to do with football. And just so everybody knows, Coach Bell doesn't even know what any of these questions are coming at him. And it's
Why
gonna
did I
go-
choose, though, the pick 6 is because Coach Bell rarely has a pick 6 against him. So let's just say we got to introduce him to a pick 6. And
Yeah.
some
And we're going to keep this Pick Six segment because I like it. And so here we
I
go.
love it.
We're going to go 2, 2, and 2.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Coach Bell,
better
you
be
just fire
quick,
out.
too.
It's going to let everybody know about you. Coach Bell, are you a pineapple on pizza type of guy?
No, sir.
All right. No pineapple
I can
on
respect
pizza.
that.
Small world. I don't know how this happened.
No, sir.
Today, my students were talking about this 10th period. I was like, deja vu. You got to be kidding me. And I didn't even tell them about it. All right, Coach.
All right.
Who would win in a fight? Superman or Batman?
Batman.
Yeah. I was born in the darkness. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. Great choice. I would have said the same thing, Coach.
Bro, hey, Bell, this is why we aren't boys like that, for real. I'm not joking, bro. Everything's opposite, but I still love you. But
You over
No.
2 right now? 2 questions?
I got 2 for you. I'm next. I got 2
Oh,
for you. This is a big one. This is a huge one, actually.
I'm ready.
Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac all day. Anybody that knows
Good,
me?
we're together. All right, cool. I'm with you. All right, my guy.
Still balling, baby. Let's go.
This,
Ever since I was a pea.
I think I know the answer just because of your age in this next question.
Uh-oh.
MJ or LeBron James? Who's the GOAT?
MJ. My
Yep.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
boys. I'll see you
Right.
later. I'm logging
Yeah.
off. I'm out.
ad-lib on that. MJ. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Bron fan. Bron is my man. He plays Iron Man basketball. He does it all, man. Bron's the man. So don't get me wrong. I hate that question, but I'm MJ.
I had to put you. Hey, I knew as a basketball coach. Hey, Coach Bell, that was gonna be a tough question for you to answer there.
Hey man, if you check the history, back in Ohio Dominican, I shaved my head and wore the Jordans
I love
with
that.
the one wristband.
Can we
I
find
love
a
it.
picture of that, please, to
Oh,
make
no,
sure?
you
we put
better
that in here?
not.
We'll see what we can do.
About 100 pounds.
All right, I got my 2 questions. The age-old question, maybe it's an age-old that I've heard for a while now, but who wins in a fight, a grizzly bear or a silverback gorilla?
Silverback.
Okay.
Yep. I
All right.
love Coach Bell. He's my dog now. We're certified dogs for life.
The correct answer was grizzly bear, but that's okay,
No
guys.
way.
No worries at all.
Oh, God.
All right, and then the last question, and you can say either best or favorite, but best movie of all time.
Lion King.
Oh, okay. All right.
Surprise.
That
Lion
is
King.
respect, Coach Bell.
I
Hella
would
respect.
never have thought that was coming.
That was
is-
hey,
that is great.
See, Lion
that's a phenomenal
Hey.
thing right there. Hey,
So
I
hey,
got
Mr. Right Pedal Ryan really did it with this pick six, and I love it. So as we finish up the intro, just Coach Bell, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, how you got to where you're at today.
It started a long time ago, man. I was a little kid over there, Mount Vernon Avenue. But as far as the coaching journey, started out with the youth program. Started my own Day Stars. When I first graduated from college, I coached at East, at Centennial as an assistant. And then I was like, hey, I want to give back to my neighborhood. And so we started the youth program. My late wife and I, we started the youth program called the Columbus Day Stars. And just work with kids, man. Just wanted to give back and show them what I know. And football was always my first love because I played football as Pee Wee. I ended up playing like Jordan. I took the scholarship. But back in the day, football was my dream. And that's what I grew up playing. But when I graduated from Centennial, I was extremely upset about that because I was supposed to go to East all my life. I played Little League for Mount Vernon Tigers. So we were Tigers from day one. We go to the games and everything. So when 8th grade came, they told me I had to bust myself out to Centennial. I'm like, man, I'm not going to Centennial. Centennial? Oh, no. My mom, like, you have no choice. You're going to Centennial. So they split the neighborhood up. Half the hood was at East, half the hood had to bust out to Centennial. And that was a culture shock. When I went out to Centennial, I had never left the hood. So all I knew was Mount Vernon. When I got out there, I was like, wow, it's something different. And actually,
right out in Clintonville. Clintonville's a lot different than Mount Vernon.
Way different from Mount Vernon. So I got out there. I got into some sports and then started doing well. And then had some opportunities to go to school and play college ball, football, and basketball. I chose basketball. I was a skinny little guy, about 5', 107, quarterback. And then was able to come back and coach at Dante Gooseby. Gave me my first opportunity to be a coach in high school. I coached for maybe 19 years with 8th grade, 7th graders, but had never took the leap to go to high school. And Dante Gooseby allowed me that opportunity. Forever grateful for that chance because he saw some potential in me when I was just coaching the 8th graders and how the kids would be motivated and listen and we'd continue to win and be successful outside of the football field. So I always wanted to go to high school. He gave me an opportunity to get in there, and then I was alongside him when he was coach of the year that year, and we won the City North Championship. Went over to Northland and got a W. You wasn't there yet, Ryan. Had to drop.
I was about to say that's one of my pick North days, brother. That wouldn't have happened if I was there, and Goose knows that. I'm undefeated against Goose.
Yeah,
that's the real OG though. You already know how it is. That's the man.
Oh, definitely. I had to sit down and I'm big bro to him, but he's little big bro while he coaching because he was teaching me and I was learned a lot from him. And he said he knew when we were in a game and I was offensive coordinator, he said he knew he wouldn't have me alone because he saw me the growth within a few years of coming into high school. So we won the championship that year. After that, I applied for a couple of different jobs and I didn't get those jobs as a head coach, but I enjoyed the opportunity to apply. And then just so happened East came open. And I was like, wow, I have an opportunity to go back to my neighborhood where it all started, impact my neighborhood. And I applied and I'm here and I'm right where I'm supposed to be right now.
It all works out how it's supposed to. It's crazy how like life and God puts you in those situations to put you right where you're meant to be. And it's interesting, just so everybody knows, when we get into this, today's talking about a little bit from Day Stars to Friday Night Stars and talking about coaching in your community. And we'll get into the next topic after that. But I found a great quote about you from Coach Bell. I did some digging, you know what I mean? And it said this is something you said, and it really stuck to me. You have never really lived until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. And I try to live by this quote daily. Elaborate on that. What does that mean? How does that drive you?
Hey, that is Mike Bell. Whatever you just put the picture next to it, that's Mike Bell to a T, though. If I know Mike Bell, that quote's him.
Yeah, definitely, man. That quote, I ran across that quote. It just resonated with me, man, because it was something that I believed in. I believe that when you are blessed and you're an opportunity to be blessed, I owned my own child care and had the youth program and I was doing pretty well financially. And I was in a position to make a difference and be able to bless people and try to enhance their life. And I always felt like if you're in that position, you have an opportunity to make a difference and try to make a difference. And you know, that quote, I feel like you should be able to, you never really understand living and giving and sharing and love until you've done something for someone who can never repay you. You do it the kindness of your heart. You do it because you're passionate and you're genuine about trying to help someone. And to me, I try to live by that as much as possible. I try my best to live by that.
I love it,
And I
man.
think that's an amazing thing because I think that's literally coaching in general, right? Like
That's that servant leadership type of stuff.
it is the most rewarding, thankless job you're ever going to have in your life. And I tell my kids all the time, like, hey, Coach Bill, we've talked, so you've heard this spiel, you've heard everything I say, right? But you got, like, for our kids to understand all the process of getting through everything, being successful, and understanding that you can buy into this person, but then us on the other end knowing you're still going to have parents going crazy on Friday night. You might be 13-2 to handle, but you might have a few parents still going crazy. You might be you.
Happens.
Hey, Coach Bell, I was at our game right at halftime. We head in and we're winning, and your stance sound a little bit crazy. And it's okay, but they're still undefeated. Like, and they ended up beating us that night. But it's just so funny how the people change, right? And everything you do, Coach Bell, is 614. And that's why it's perfect to have you on here. You do everything for Columbus City. You're never going to leave East. I already know how that is. But
Good.
We'll get you over to Northland sooner or later. But like what you're doing, though.
I could return back to my hood, man.
You got to. And it's just amazing. And I want to go over that you talked to me about, though, real quick, is just this is the most interesting thing. Stout, I probably am taking your fire because this has your name highlighted. I don't care though. This is
I don't care. Go roll.
I hit you up. I even texted you about this stuff. But first ever Little League game that Mike Bell played on, right? The first field he played on is what field, Mike Bell?
Harley Field.
Harley Field, home of them East Tigers. Where is the first playoff game that you won this year as a coach?
Harley Field.
First ever. Awesome. Your first ever.
Full circle.
That is, bro, for real, I'm not going to lie. That gives me chills down my back just because that is, you were how old when you first started?
Man, I probably was like 5.5, 6 years old, maybe playing football. Mount Vernon, Eastside Tigers.
Hey, I'm sorry. I love you, but how old are you now?
Hey.
That's a personal one.
I ain't ashamed. They call this wisdom. I'm actually turning the big 5-0 this year. Yeah. So
y'all joking say I'm the old man.
After the first game, that weekend will be my weekend.
So let's do a little math here, right? I know, Stout, you teach history, so turn your brain off, right? So if you're about to turn 50 and your first time ever playing there or whatever, might have been 5, 6, 4, or whatever, we'll say 5 years old, right? Stout, real quick, give me the math.
No, I ain't good at math, man. Don't put me on. Listen.
I'm going to roughly say that my dude Bell has been at Harley Field for 45 years.
I'm going to set you up so hard in the future. I can't wait, man. I just can't wait. Hey, real quick, Coach Bell, and getting back to what the episode's about, give us just a little bit about what Daystars was. How long did you do it? What did you take from it? That type of a thing.
Actually, I was in church, a New Salem Baptist church, and I was at church, and I was just thinking, hey, man, I need to start a team, and I wanted to look for a name and try to figure out a name. So I was supposed to be listening to the sermon. I was looking in the Bible, like looking for a word, for names, something to catch me. And I was going through there, and I didn't want it to be an animal. I wanted to actually mean something, the name. I'm not saying that animals don't, but I'm just saying that I wanted to have some meaning behind it. So I was going down and just looking, and then I went through 2 Peter 1:19, popped up, boom, I read it, and it's like in a Daystar shall arise within, and you will shine even in a dark place. Basically, when God comes back, when he looks for his people, no matter what, you'll be a shining anytime because you're a Daystar. You can shine during the day, you can shine at night. So I was like, wow, Daystars. So I was like, that's going to be it. We'll go with Daystars. And started it off, man. Our whole mission statement was developing resilience it's crazy because I like now I'm doing a summer program with resilience, and I'm trying to implement characteristics of being resilient because I felt like that was our mission statement for where I came from my neighborhood, Mount Vernon, to the kids that I deal with, the kids that we're going to have some hardship and we're going to have to overcome some things that are not in our control. What do we need? I don't want to put band-aids on afterward. We want to prepare you to handle those situations. So I tell my kids, it's not what happened, it's how you respond to it. How do you respond with resilience? How do you respond to every event in your life? Or you have to respond so that you have better outcomes. And it was all about the resilience. And the kids would run up and never give up. And I was like, what's that mean? Resilience. So I gave them a word, something to hang, to believe in. And I was able to impact over 300 kids as well as adults or friends. I have friends who coach with me, I got them involved, got the community involved. And they end up impacting a lot of lives positively. And we have a huge family around Columbus that come up and say Daystars. Their kids are playing it. And they're telling
I love it, Coach. I love it. And
my first year, Coach, man, I had Daystars on my team. Shamar Watson, my homie. I talked to him last week. He's going to ODU too.
Yes, sir. That's my guy, Marty Mark.
That's your guy. I already know. We talked a lot about him when we first started, and he was a Daystar. I had a couple of Daystars come through mine, and it was those guys knew football. Those guys played hard. They were good kids, great kids, and they understood.
Robert Wheelwright, my brother, Daystar, went to Wisconsin. He's now on my staff. Great coach that we have, a blessing to have, because I probably won't have him long at all because probably be moving up or be getting a head job somewhere. And then Roger Lewis played for Bowling Green. Benny Snell was a Daystar. We had a few different guys come through.
It was a monster.
Yes.
Hey, Coach, I just got a question for you. You've been a guy from East and about East, and it seems like you just know everything that goes on over there. What are some nuggets you can share that you found to be successful at staying engaged with those lower levels? So you started in that lower level. You're now a head coach. You understand that. You understand how important it is. It's really hard for us varsity coaches, I think, when we get into the grind of the season of staying engaged. What could you give people as tips or things that have been successful about keeping that engagement in a busy time?
Yeah, I tell everyone, I was like, when I was running the Daystars, I was like, the coaches need to engage. They need to pull for some of these programs. They need to tap into some of these programs young. Unlike the OCC, where they have base little leagues and then they have a feeder program from middle school up to high school. A lot of our city kids, we don't have that designated area, designated teams to pull from. Kids all over. The importance of having a youth program that's connected, that you engage with, is so important. For me being on that side and now being on this side, I try to stay engaged. I work with the Legacy Youth League, Everett Youth Academy. They got maybe 1,000 kids. You have to allow those guys to feel at home, to be a part of your program, because that's the future. I remember right there at the grassroots. So I try to stay connected. I try to stay relevant. I try to have opportunities for them to come to games, use the field, whatever it may be, so they can see about East High School. They can see what we're doing in the neighborhood and so forth. And it's hard sometimes with us being on grass, but we try to allow some opportunities for them to see East High, to not just hear about East High, but to see what we're doing over here at East High School and in the neighborhood. But staying connected with the youth is so important. I'm actually starting a youth football team again. So we're going to be the Columbus Tigers, and I'm going to attack my area code from Beatty to Treffitt to Champion. And I'm working with different summer programs to get that started, because if we have to start young. We have to start young. We have to change the perception. We have to get the kids to have a positive outlook. And if we do that, and if the youth programs are instilling those characteristics, and now you're not starting all over at night, like with me. And I know Ryan deals with it a lot, and I know you probably do with kids that just getting able to play and understand academics and how important it is to be eligible and things of that sort. You have to stay connected to the youth. You have to stay connected for the future.
Coach, I think that's one of the most unique things that's in the city is you look at everywhere, everybody has middle school teams, right? Our basketball programs have middle school teams. Football does not. It is a tough thing because you get a lot of high schoolers that social media kills them right nowadays. They log on, they see all these highlights, they see all these offers coming through from these kids, and they're like, oh, that should be me. I could do that. That person that's getting that has been working for how long, though, to get that? And people don't realize that. And that's the tough thing, I think, in the city. And we're always going to battle that, Mike, right? Like, we talked about that. Even starting, and we talked the other day on the phone, even starting a Little League, right? Like, those guys, the city changes so much on lines, or maybe even, hey, we're trying to do mainly just homeschools. We might not want a lottery kids in, or the seat levels. There's just so much out of you have to navigate. I'm looking at my kids that are supposed to be coming in. Well, they're
putting out fires every day.
Right, they're 45th on the seat level. I need this kid to get in here. They ain't gonna get in a lot. You not. It's just putting dots together. That's what makes you love it more, though, in the city, though. And for me, my one question for you, though, Mike, is, which is interesting me. You starting the Daystars and being here forever is so interesting. But when you started the Daystars, did you know? Even if you did know, tell me, what point did you know, or did you know, I'm going to take this to the high school level and try to make something more of this? Or was that always a plan? Or was that kind of just, you're trying to make a difference and you're going day by day?
Man, if you ask anybody that met me, they tell you, man, I'm a visionary and I've always thought big. I've never been a local thinker in that aspect. I've always thought nationally or globally. So when I started the Daystars, when we started, I was just like, hey, we're going to have Daystar High. We're going to have Daystar University. That was the vision. And right. It's funny that I'm at East. One of my guys, one of my best friends, he always walks every time he calls and we doing well at East. He remembered when I started the Daystars, I was like, we're going to have Daystar High. He said, see, you never know. God seen you Daystar High. Right. He said, East is Daystar. I hear walk by me say Daystar High all the time. And it kind of makes me walk back and through remembering I wanted to be a different opportunity. I felt I was in the 8th grade and I was getting kids to school, but I felt like I was losing a lot of kids that I helped raise. And I had steered up and they would get to high school and never participate, never get on the field or for whatever reason. And I felt like we need to connect that. And I needed to try to get to another position where I can try to finish what I started with the youth and get on high school to college. And that was just a goal for me to get there.
Coach, you said before 2 characteristics you're trying to teach and instill in these young kids was resilience and preparation. And when you look at how you can lead and prepare these kids best for high school football or for life after high school football or college football, do you think there's something that, outside of character, perseverance and the other things you mentioned, do you think there's something that coaches at the youth level are missing? Is there something else that's like, man, if on a wide scale level, if we could focus on teaching the fundamentals or getting them excited about the game or telling them about the commitment or what it means to the community, you think there's something else that we can add into that as a just people can listen to them, I'm going to take that.
Yeah, I've been observing youth football lately. And honestly, it starts at the top with the leadership and what is your vision and what are your goals? What are you trying? What is your mission statement? Like mission statement. Are we winning games? What is important to you at the top of your leadership of your program? If it's out there, if it's more likes, more clicks, or is it just, hey, are we developing young men, young women? Are we making them understand to have a positive outlook? Are we telling them to compete as hard as you can, to go as hard as you can? But okay, so if you come up short, get back up, keep fighting. Or I watched a few games and it was a lot of a lot of good out there. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people that are doing great jobs with these young people. But the things that need to change, it need to be more focused on the development of the kid, not the W's and the wins. Fundamentals, teaching them football, teaching them how to play football correctly, and just letting them grow, continue to grow. Because I never ever will, if I get a freshman, judge a football player or judge a kid, because if they're not going to be that same kid in 4 or 5 years. And if you get out there and just allow your kids to develop and the adults get out the way sometimes and not try to live through them, but would definitely help guide them and lead them in the right directions, I think that it'll continue to get better because kids are innocent, man. And they come in and they just going off what they're taught.
And that's a great point. But so I got one more question before we transition to our next topic, our last topic, right? I got one more question and could have been in a pick six, but who through your journey, Mike, has been your biggest influence on you as a coach? Not as a person. Coach is everything. We wear 12 hats. Who is the one guy that you can sit here and say, hey, he has had the biggest influence. He's changed my life and done everything that I could ask for me?
Man.
Tough question, ain't it? I already know it is.
It's a tough question because I'm circled by so many good men. And to say one in the coaching field, I wouldn't want to minimize what the impact that all these great men have had in trying to mold me and get me there. But I will say spiritually, Mr. Brown, Mr. Tim Brown, spiritually and mentally continues to guide me and keep me humble.
All over the city. Don't stop, man.
And like I mentioned Dante Goolsby as far as teaching me some maturity. He's been in the game for a while. He's had some times when he hasn't had talent, but he continued to raise men. And outside of football, one thing I learned from Dante is that when you're coaching, all your seniors want to come back. And all your former players want to come back. A lot of you, regardless of your record or your season, and they want to be around you. They want to see you, see how you doing, and they care. They love being around you. That's a reflection of the job you did raising men. And what I want to do is do that same type of job and do a job where outside of winning football, we're raising men, husbands, good citizens, and so forth. So I've had a lot of people that help impact me. My little league coaches inspire me. I had a little league. This is funny. I had a little league team. I started a little league in the neighborhood in Mount Vernon. I had Trevor Heights versus Bolivar versus Mount Vernon Plaza. I had all this neighborhood, all neighborhood. We making T-shirts, and I was writing numbers on everybody's jerseys. And it's funny because I put the schedule together. I'm probably like 10, 11 years old, man. I was running the league.
I love it. That's amazing.
Great football. It's funny. I
That's
laugh.
amazing.
I look back and laugh, man. It's funny, man. Yeah.
Hey,
Well, hey, that's a great story.
Daystar High sounds real good to me. Donovan, get us into this last topic, man. I'm excited for this next one.
All right. So when we look at this, and I'll kick it off just because I think I have the most inexperienced perspective with this. Coach Bell, I don't know if they get any background. I have the pleasure and the burden of being the youngest coach between us three. This is only my second year, going to be my second year coaching football, and I coach offensive line. And so when we talk about
And he's
ways,
still not the best looking. That's a struggle.
I never argued that. I never argued that.
Hey, don't go for that, man. Don't take that from Ryan, man.
When we talk about ways to get your playmakers the football, right? I don't have a lot of experience with that, and I look at it from the perspective of the offensive line and more the matchup there. So it's a little different. So I'll kick things off a little bit and give my 3 ways that I just brainstormed and thought about it. One was understanding the strength of your playmakers. Even when I look at the O-line, I always try and go, okay, what's Coach Stout thinking? What does he want to call in the run game? Who's got the hot hand on the line? Who's got the hot hand in the backfield? So understanding the strength of your playmakers and always use that to your advantage. Study the opponent, and I've learned this more and more from Coach Stout. Finding the matchups that you think your kids can and know your kids can take advantage of is big, and you won't know that unless you study the opposite player that's going against them. And then move that player across the field. And this is from 0 bit of experience, but more of just seeing it in the college football and high school football and National Football League, where you just see playmakers move across the field, confuse the defense, make everybody in that arena frustrated because you know that they're going back to that player who's got the hot hand. All of it.
Mike Bell for you.
Yeah, I believe in this, man. I believe in, man, give him a big dose. Give him a big dose of him, or a big dose of him. When I'm called all the big games I've coached in offensively, if I had a playmaker, there's no way I'm going to get out of that game and he don't see a lot of touches. And any great coach is going to get their playmakers the ball as much as possible. See, because the defense, they tackle him early 1 or 2 times, but they don't want to have to keep trying to bring this playmaker down.
It's exhausting.
Every play he's coming at me. And I definitely agree with you. about matchups. I study matchups and I try to figure out the ones we can win. We're not a large number of kids. We don't have linemen down. I got a running back. I had to have a little. I love my guy, little Cope, because he's probably like 5'8", and he went down and played line for me, man. He's going out to the Marines. He's a tough guy, but he's not a lineman. He went down and played lineman for me. He did the best he did. You know, I'm fighting for you, coach, but he didn't stand a chance. But he fought for me. And but I look at the matchups. You know, we weren't a team that was going to dominate up front, so I had to put my guys in space and try to make one guy be two guys instead of 7 guys, or get to the matchups where I say, okay, this guy, I'm watching film. I spend a lot of time watching the opponent's film individually. I'll watch individual players over and over again, several plays, and I'll go back and watch them. And I'll try to see where the weakness is and how we can attack it. And then I'll give my playmaker the ball in space and say, hey, you got to be 2, or you got to be 3. One-on-one, he can't run with you. Okay, this linebacker can't run with you. So I'm gonna move you around, put you in. I'm gonna get the matchup I want, and then I'm gonna try to expose it, like you said, watching film and matchups, and then trying to and giving you a big dose. Guys is gonna get it done.
He's playing his cards close. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't want to give me nothing. I like that.
Hey, it gets hard what you want to share and what you don't want to share. It gets tough as I'm driving around. I think about this
Now you're following the other OC up. Let me see what you got, because I'm looking at you right now.
So I don't play any of you, so that's fine with me. But there's probably people listening. We do.
Hey, listen, when you just said that, the dude whoever's playing, you just pulled the notepad out.
So number one for me is personnel groups. And this is something that I have grown as I have gotten older and matured with, is finding a way to get your best players in packages at different spots on the field at key situations. When I was a younger coach, I wasn't as great as this. It was try to, hey, you sub in at this, that type of thing. But as I've gotten older and I've learned how the personnel is important and your playmakers are important, is building personnel packages for those key situations in the game to put your very best on the field. And like Coach said, at a smaller school, it's a little bit different for him. On the flip side, I feel like sometimes the larger you are as a school or your roster, the more you want to platoon, and those players get divided even more. And I think that's something special we did at Gahanna last year, was breaking that mold some in building things. We probably had about 7 personnel groups last year, and some of those key third and short, you got to have it type situations brought a lot of defensive guys on at different situations, or we had 3 tight ends in, because I'm a big believer in a multiple offense, and it was massive for us. So I think personnel groups, and for us, we just name all of our personnel groups after college schools that usually sometimes fit the identity of what we're trying to do out of that group, and it fits really well. And we've even expanded even more this year, which I'm excited about. We're one day in, and we've got a couple new personnel groups that match our personnel even better. I'm excited for it. I think
elaborate.
No. I think number 2 I think number 2 is you got to get creative. And we've talked about motion. I know Coach Sayers is going to talk about motion. And Coach Sayers talked about motion, one player field another, see how they rotate, things like that. And for me too, I'm all about sneak a player in. Sneak a guy. If you can sneak a guy in at tight end, running back, put your backup quarterback somewhere and motion him, man, next thing you know, you've got this massive playmaker advantage, and you've maybe got the fastest kid on your team against a linebacker. That's another thing. Find those creative ways where you can line up a player pre-snap and do different things.
Stout did that during inside run and would throw RPOs in the inside run.
Hey, I got to keep you honest. I don't care. Nah. And then the last thing for me is listen to your players.
Right.
Okay, listen to your players.
That's my favorite one on your Stout.
They're going to send you clips. They're going to send you play ideas.
Man.
The internet has completely changed what we can do as coaches. And don't be prideful. I know it all. I know what to do. If you think if it fits or will work with what you're going to do that week, try it. If not, you tell your player, hey, I love that suggestion. I think that's something we can do down the road. I can't tell you the amount of times I spend Saturday night with an iPad, drawing up plays and doing things, and players who send me stuff too. Last year for me, and I don't know what you guys thought, last year in college football, it was the year of the tight end. Everybody found a way to do something with a tight end, to put the tight end up into the seam, to do all these things with, to now screen and go, you name it. And my boy Dylan, aka the Swagoo, who might be listening today, him and I every night would be sending each other clips and doing things. And to give you a story, Dylan, he sent me a clip of a little tight end type of a pop pass, play action type thing. And it was great. And I said, that's awesome. And I tweaked it a little bit to fit a little bit more what we do. But what did we do? Put it in that week, scored a touchdown in the game. Yeah. And when you do things like that, when you listen to your players and you show that you care as a coach, that they have investment and ownership in what you're doing, it pays exponential amounts on what you're doing as far as a culture. And to take his idea that we talked about and to put it into what we're doing and to show people and to show your players that I'm not bigger than you, that this is we, not me. It built such a culture for us in the first year, I think.
I totally agree with you that I had a couple of players that would come from just in the game. Coach, this will work. Run that. Run this. Even when we beat Cambridge and I went going for the 2-point play, I came to the huddle and I had the play in my head. I was like, I know we're going to run. I know we're going to run to win overtime. And as I get ready, a lot of kids were shouting out the play, but as I was getting ready to say the play, one of my kids said the same play at the same time. Confirmed like I was right on the right path. And he was thinking the game, he was watching the game, like, Coach, this is gonna work. And we was calling it the same way. Letting your kids be involved was huge.
And I'll agree with you, Coach. In the first game this past year where we beat Pick Central, our tight end was calling for a certain play. And I thought it would maybe be there in the future, and I agree with him. And if it's not off the wall, yeah. I think at the end of the day, if you try to listen to kids that you've built relationships with and you go down swinging with what they said, you can't go wrong. You either make the play and it's great, or if it doesn't work, you went to bat with your boys.
I went to bat with
your dogs.
Yeah.
And if you came up short, you came up short, but you're showing that you believe in the players who do everything you ask for.
I totally agree with you. The key word you said, relationships. You build that rapport. You build that relationship with your kids, man. When we played Steubenville, the coach came out. He got over 400 and so forth. And he came out, and it was funny because in the beginning of the game, I'm excited, like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I done watched the film. I'm like, that's pretty physical. So I'm thinking about, like, God, they got a lot up front. Like, this is going to be an uphill battle. When he came out, he was like, Coach, he said, I just wanted to meet you, man. You got 24 kids. He said, 9 of them will run through the wall for you. And what you were saying about relationships, he said, basically, he was like, you don't have enough, but you got 9 that's going to play extremely hard for you. And they did.
And I was going to get into that, Mike. Like, that was one of my points that I was going to piggyback off of his relationships with you, right? I've coached against you. These guys haven't, right? Our first game wasn't too tight, right?
No, you got out on
me. We got out on y'all there. But on the second game this past year,
I still believe y'all didn't feed me no pizza, man, and kept me there all night. But we'll talk about that later.
We had a rain delay, Stout and Donnie Mac. Look, we had a rain delay. My families, we had a little snacks in our. They weren't prepared. We lived there. We were there all night. They wasn't ready for that war.
It was cold too.
It was a long night.
Hey, Coach Bell ain't ran Sun Tzu, the art of war. That's his fault.
Man, that's it. Hey, no, here's the thing, though. What I say, though, about leading into this point, though, is like, dude, Coach Bell's players play their ass off for him. And, they don't give up. Like, we definitely had some guys this year. We had some great shit happen this year in our game. I think our game was probably the most back and forth game you could have got. You get 18-6, you're like, okay, 2 scores. But that one score was late in the game. We what 18-6 or 18-8,
well,
one of the two.
It was
Whatever, but we went into half winning, so it was crazy. And then their kids came out, and what I applied Coach Bell on is getting his kids when a bad thing happens in the city. The toughest thing is I've experienced as a coach, and I don't know, Coach Bell, you've been here longer than me. When one bad thing happens, all the bad things.
Heads drop.
And we can't get locked back in. And that's one thing I commend you for is in our game, we took a fumble recovery back on you guys on a snap over your head. And that next drive, you guys came, boom, stick to your guns, and you guys kept going. That whole game was great. But for me, matchups, we all said that, right? And I think that's the easiest thing. And I tell our coaches, our offensive coaches, Stout's not on the sideline across from me or Donnie Mack, but hey, beat Mike Bell. You don't have to beat Mike Bell. You don't have to beat him. I'm not coaching. We're not playing against Mike Bell. We're playing against these 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Let's confuse them. Beat them. If you're in motion, you're doing all those things, and Mike knows our offense, which was cool about us, is our offense changed drastically, and that's a big thing on our offensive coaches because we had an ineligible quarterback, and that's what's unique in high school. As if my quarterback was ineligible, you coached him in Little League. Coach Bell, Charles Woodford, straight dog, would have won us three more games, and he was ineligible. So we had a quarterback that's never thrown the ball, never played that. And would we come out in this year, triple option, and we started really motioning and sending things and putting our kids in the position to get the matchups we wanted. And we were able to tie the city as we got better every week. Heading into Coach Bell's, we had a guy injured, our best guy. Coincidentally, his best guy's number 2, my best guy's number 2 on the offensive toting the pill, and my guy was hurt. And I had some guys that stepped up in that game, but we tried our hardest to get those matchups across the field and not have his number 2 on my other best player, my number 1, or have number 4 on my best player. There's just so many things, and I'm using him as an example because he's here, but we tried to do those, and that's unique about high school coaching is you have to make sure you can adjust to your players. I'm not picking them. And then my next thing is that I already picked up on this was use motions. Like we motion so much, like Northland motions, 7-on-7, we motion every single play. If we're going
you
7
didn't
on
motion every single play last summer. Stop lying.
You're literally our first one. And would we say, hold on, no, you're about to get me heated because would we say before it, me and Stout almost had to throw hands at this 7-on because he said, I'm not putting in motion, nothing like that. Guess what he comes out and does?
Pre-snap.
I told you everything I was going to do.
Touchdown, they score on us. We have no rotation.
I told you I was going to put this in. I told you were going to see multiple tight end sets. I told you all that.
One word. Did you say you're doing motion?
Yeah, I said we will motion.
You're a lie. Don't even do this. Right
Donnie, have we motioned since day 1?
More like since day
asked you
0.
specifically. I said, are we motioning?
Once again, another episode.
It's quiet. You
gonna
hear
end
them
with us
crickets?
fighting.
Either
It's
way,
unbelievable.
besides the point. Coach Bell, you've seen when we get to the City 7 on my game plan is right by that July, 3rd week in July, 4th week in July, we're motioning every play. We're trying to send guys across that formation and make sure that we're getting those matchups. Now it's harder in a real game sense. And I think this because we don't have as many guys as Gahanna, right? Or as at Pick North or as at Pick Central, Reynoldsburg, all those other schools. So for me, if I'm motioning guys all game, every game, and he's playing corner or free safety or something for me as well, I'm gassing my dude just with those. So we really do limit it when we get to our season. But during 7-on, we're trying to get some conditioning. We're really trying to see the matchups in those. So that's the different times to play with it. And Stout, you brought that up last time. And dude, our next meeting we had after we talked last week, Stout, or was that 2 weeks ago, whatever one, you said play with some things.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go get a little freaky out there.
Don't be afraid, man.
I got right to my OC. I said, get crazy. Let's try it.
We don't get spring ball. So I look at summer from right now, and we had our first practice until really, I don't care. As we start getting closer to week 1, I am going to play around with some things. I'm going to put kids in different spots. I'm going to do different things and do stuff because this is the perfect time for me to try to solve situations I know are coming down the road.
When you said that,
the kids don't know this, but personally for me, I know what our core philosophy and playbook is. And we're going to teach that. We've been teaching that. And then within that, I'm going to play around a little bit and I'm going to try to see, can some nuggets work down the road?
And that's like interesting because we did that, right? I told my OC that and he's like, really? Like, let's try some. Hell yeah, let's try something. Let's figure it out. Let's do some different things right now. And then that led us into my next point was just RPOs in high school are critical. And I've realized that as a defensive guy, really, because it's tough, man, especially in the city. 90% of the time, Coach Bell, you correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to see a little bit of an athlete at quarterback as well, with a running back that's an athlete and the receiver's their best guy. You got to just blitz up front, right? Figure that out. But if you can get RPOs and implement those into your game and get your quarterback that one guy to realize, hey, you got three options now. You can throw it, you can hand it off, or you can run it yourself. And that's one unique thing that I love about my OC, Coach Harris. He's a young guy, is that it's not handed off or just you can run it too, quarterback, right? You didn't hand it. You go to look, boom, it's not there. Maybe on the pass, just tuck it and run. Go get me back to the line of scrimmage. Give me 1 yard, right? Don't do nothing stupid. And that's what we really try to coach in our RPOs. And that gives us 3 ways to get the ball to 3 different playmakers, because all the time in the city, you're going to have one of your best guys at quarterback, one of your best guys at running back, and your other best guy is going to be one of the receivers. So that is that way that we try to get the ball to our guys. Last year we struggled, like I said again, right? But that's unique about this year. We got Cheeky back, Charles Woodford back, right, at quarterback. And then we got also Alex Neff that's played last year, our other kid. And then we have another third kid that's coming in. So now we have 3 quarterbacks for my first time ever. And we're able to run, okay, this is the left side RPO, 2 receivers on this side. Now on the other side of the field, we got 3 receivers. Now in the middle of the field, we're just running handoff, and then he gets another snap, and now he's throwing a quick RPO on whatever side. We got 3 reps going with so many kids, and we can implement that in practice starting now. It can get dangerous, and I think our kids are in a great spot. We return 27 lettermen, so all our kids know all our calls. They know all of our signals, and we haven't lost the kids. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and I'm just excited to see them at orange across from me on that sideline. I'll give them a hug before the game, but other than that, man, they love to have.
I tell you, man, you said some stuff that's important. That RPO, that athlete, quarterback, putting those guys in the right positions, man, and being able to get kids to execute at a high level. And the thing I was talking about was when you said reps. Kids learn. I think they learn on layers. Year they learn. And to have 26 lettermen back, that's a lot of varsity reps. It's a lot of varsity reps of your kids that are getting those reps, and that's important, I think. And as you go on, you get down, like you said, later in the season, those varsity reps matter. So I got a little thing I'm going to do this year. I'm going to make sure that I continue to try to get my kids ready to play that early in the season, right down the line. So,
yeah, because late you're going to bring in those 2s, 3s in the city, especially you get a guy banged up like Amir Brown. For me, right, he's going to get banged up because I'm going to give him the pill 35 times. Tajon Burns, you're going to give him that pill 30 times. He's going to feel something after that game. And so having those guys ready by the end of that, right, heading into city league play and things like that is very key, I think, and important. And I've learned that as a head coach through my 3 years. And we had unique first 2 years, COVID, you know what I mean? All that stuff, bouncing back and forth, starting, not starting. So that's unique now. But no, this was my favorite episode. I know it's long, but this was my favorite one. So I appreciate you, Coach Bell, coming on. It's all love.
Man, I enjoyed being on here tonight with you guys, man. A lot of great minds on here, man. A lot of great guys, a lot of great coaches, man. Wishing you all continued success, man. Congrats, Coach, on a wonderful year over there, you guys, man. Gahanna, I was supporting. I think I came to the Groveport Gahanna game. I was able to watch that. I had a little nephew, Thomas Newby. He's on the team over there, played with you guys over there. So, you know, I was just super proud of you guys and what you accomplished this year, man. And I watched Coach.
I appreciate it, Coach. And this is our first time meeting, man. I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan of yours now. And I can't wait to maybe try to do some things together in the future. Maybe get us all together, do some 7-on-7s or pick each other's brain and see how we use athletes. And that's what I'm excited about this show, and what it was intended to do is to talk football and meet some different guys. And without this show, I don't know if we would ever had that opportunity to talk together. I just want to appreciate you coming on a lot, and good luck to you this season as well.
Appreciate you guys having me, man. Definitely.
Sayers, wrap this up for us, baby. Let's go.
Hey, gentlemen, what a great night. My favorite night of the week, Wednesday night recording. Coach Bell let you know what it means to go from day stars to Friday night stars. He lets you know about Mount Vernon's hood, how he runs that place out there. We all did a quick new thing, our pick six, which was fun. And we are pumped up for next week. We love being with you guys. If you're listening to us, keep hitting subscribe. Keep sending it to your people. We love this. We're just some guys that love football. You already know what it is.
We love it, man. And you know what? There's been a lot of ratings and reviews, and we just can't continue to tell all you how happy we are, and just want to say thank you so much, and continue to do those things because that helps our show grow. I can't tell you how many hours and time we've been putting in this show to try to make it be great for all of you. We've got some viewer topics that we're going to start rolling in starting next week. And be sure to also check out Fundraising University, right? Check out them. Hit them up.
That's Coach Bell. Coach Bell can talk on this.
Time out, Coach Bell.
Hey,
you and Brent played in college together, right?
Man, Brent's my guy, man.
That's what he said.
That's my buddy, man. I texted him tonight when you was talking about fundraising you. I said, man, how you gonna be going golfing with Ryan without me, man? What's going on? So I was over here pouting because Ryan took my friend, man. He hanging out.
That's what Ryan does. But hey, we're excited about Brent, man. Brent believes in what we're trying to get off the ground. We believe in the things that Brent can offer a team and a program. And so if you're a team right now that hasn't set your fundraisers, or you just want to take it to the next level, make sure you reach out to Fundraising University Ohio. Brent is going to make sure that your life is hassle-free. Fellas, what a great night. What a great time to be alive. We love this game. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night, my guys.